All right, so let's get another check of the forecast with meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees, who's busy today tracking what's going on here in the Charlotte area. Brittany, it definitely was sweater weather today. I had a sweater before I came in to work.
Yeah, as you should. I had a jacket as well. It is certainly on the cooler side today. In fact, our highs only in the upper 60s, lower 70s. We've seen clouds the majority of the day here in Charlotte, but the mountains look fantastic. In fact, if you want to go leaf peeping anytime, now is the time. Pretty much now through the next 2 weeks is going to be the best time at highest elevations. And as we know, then it will eventually travel, of course, down the mountain and eventually toward the East Coast. Here in Charlotte, our peak of leaf season is early to mid-November. Cloudy, cool, and breezy. That's going to be the big story in Charlotte this weekend. We'll eventually bring in a small chance for rain. And although the rain chance is small, it's going to be much needed. Maximum wind gusts today in Charlotte around 20 to 25 miles an hour. A few spots getting close to 30. This will be the maximum we'll see this weekend. So expect similar conditions both Saturday and early Sunday. And the culprit is a cold front that's right now stalled across just off the South Carolina coast and this low pressure system. As the two essentially combine, this is what causes that nor'easter to form, eventually bringing really dangerous rip currents and coastal beach flooding for the coastal Carolinas. And of course, here in Charlotte, just some outlying effects, right? Very minimal with clouds and areas of rain. So for the immediate coast, especially the Outer Banks, these are the high risks to expect. Overwash of 3 to 5 feet, wind gusts near 50 or so miles an hour. Of course, it's lesser impacts the further inland you go. And if you're wondering why the coastal Carolinas and South Carolina aren't as badly impacted, of course, it has everything to do with the positioning of the Outer Banks. Now, they're going to see the worst wind gusts, of course, as well. We'll see 40 plus miles an hour from Charleston up to Wilmington, really starting Saturday early afternoon, eventually trekking up the coast. Wilmington's worst winds will be Saturday night, and you can see that going toward Hatteras. A few spots, again, getting those wind gusts near 50 or so miles an hour before conditions do improve by the second half of Sunday. In Charlotte, I think our worst winds will be Saturday afternoon, right around 25, and then Sundays when we could peak closer to 30. But regardless, we're seeing very minimal impacts compared to what folks along the coast will be dealing with. Now, here's our futurecast model heading into Saturday, and I want to point out something very important here when it comes to the timing. Saturday morning, so 11 o'clock, closer to lunchtime, we'll start to see some areas of light rain trying to move into parts of Chesterfield and Richmond County, so our southeastern communities. This will not fall from the sky and reach the ground, because the first little batch here of light rain will go through an area of really dry air close to the ground and evaporate. This is what we refer to as virga. So it'll take a few hours of this light rain pumping from the sky down toward the ground to allow for the air to saturate enough for this rain to reach the ground. So if it starts in Charlotte, for example, around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I don't think it'll be closer until 7 that we'll actually be seeing this reach the ground. And even when it does, especially Saturday, it's very light. Now, Saturday night and into early Sunday morning, this is where we could see a few areas of more light to moderate rain. I don't anticipate any downpours, and you can see rain does eventually get lighter as we head throughout Sunday. So overall accumulation is not a ton, but it is going to be beneficial no matter how much we get. And again, that's mainly very late Saturday and into early Sunday morning before conditions do rapidly improve into early next week. So here's your Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. You can see temperatures will be back in the mid 70s by Monday afternoon. We'll have 50s at night, 70s to near 80 during the day by Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going from really chilly and cool and cloudy conditions over the next 2 days. And again, conditions improving heading into middle parts of next week. Now, if you're wondering if the Panthers game is going to be terrible, the answer is no. Just deal with some light rain, some cloudy sky conditions, and it certainly will be chilly. So I'd have a jacket nonetheless, no matter what time you're out and about on Sunday. But again, conditions will rapidly improve by mid next week.
All right.